They say Valentine's Day is about love, romance, and showing someone you care. But what happens when someone cares too much? When love becomes obsession? When a Valentine becomes a life sentence? My name is Claire, and I need to tell you about the Valentine's cards I've been receiving. Cards from someone who's been watching me for 14 years. It started on February 1st. A handmade Valentine's card on my doorstep. Construction paper, glitter, the kind you would make in elementary school. No signature, just, I've never forgotten you. I thought it was from Owen, my boyfriend of 3 months. He laughed and said that kind of thing just wasn't his style. The next morning, I opened my door to find another gift. Flowers. White roses. My favorite, actually. But here's the thing. They're not a commonly known favorite of mine. Most people assume I like red roses. Only someone who really knew me would know about the white roses. Owen didn't know. We hadn't really talked about that kind of thing yet. February 5th, a burned CD appeared. A mixtape. Songs I loved when I was 16. Obscure indie bands, songs I haven't thought about in over a decade. The handwriting on the case was shaky, almost nervous. Like a teenager wrote it. February 8th, my high school yearbook. Not just any copy, but my copy. With my notes in the margins, my doodles. I lost this yearbook when I moved away for college 12 years ago. How could this thing I thought I lost so long ago be here right now? February 10th, a poem I wrote in ninth grade. I threw it away after my English teacher said it was too melodramatic. I remember crumpling it up and just tossing it away in the cafeteria trash. But it looks like someone dug it out and has kept it all this time. On Valentine's Day, Owen came over for dinner. I was rattled by the gifts, but I tried to make the evening normal. We were finishing dessert when we heard it. It was a loud crash from below, from the crawl space right beneath our feet. I live in my grandmother's old house, and I used to play around in the crawl space as a kid, but I rarely go down there now. No reason to, and plus, kinda gives me the creeps now. The entrance is in the utility closet by the back door. Owen quickly grabbed a flashlight and we opened the hatch fearing an animal had made a nest in there or something. What we found, I can't even describe it properly. It was like a shrine, spanning nearly the entire crawl space. Photos of me from every stage of my life. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college graduation, my first apartment, my current job. All my lost items, jewelry I thought I'd misplaced, a jacket that disappeared from my gym locker in 10th grade, that diary from ninth grade, and a massive calendar covering an entire wall. Every significant day of my life marked. Birthdays, first day of school, graduations, my first kiss, dated correctly, and photos of every boyfriend I'd ever had, each one crossed out with angry-looking red X's. Then Owen found a photograph that made my blood freeze. It was us, at dinner, from not even an hour ago, taken from inside the crawl space, but awkwardly through a vent in my dining room floor. Whoever this was had been watching us eat. That's when we saw the tunnel. It was poorly hidden in a rushed manner. The crawl space extended beyond my property line and into the neighbor's basement. My neighbor Thomas, quiet guy, moved in 2 years ago. Always friendly, always waving. We called the police immediately, and after they saw what was in the crawl space, they immediately went to Thomas's house. They tried knocking but got no answer. And when they shined their light into the big front window, what they found disturbed us even more than we already were. The place was empty. After they got the okay to enter the house, they found it had been completely cleared out, like no one had ever even lived there. But they did find one thing: his high school yearbook. Same school as mine, same year. I didn't make the connection before, but after looking through again, I came to the gut-wrenching realization that Thomas wasn't Thomas. He was Danny. Danny Mitchell. The boy who asked me to ninth grade Valentine's Day dance. The boy I rejected because I barely knew him. He was quiet, sat behind me in English class. I'd forgotten he existed, but it seems he never forgotten me. In their search, the police found rental agreements. Danny had been renting properties near me for 14 years. 6 different cities, always within a block of wherever I lived. Boston, Portland, Philadelphia, Denver, Seattle, and now here. He knew I'd inherit my grandmother's house. He rented the place next door 2 years before she died. 2 years. He waited 2 years for me to move in. I moved out that day. I stayed with Owen, and then we moved 400 miles away to a city where no one knew me. And that was a year ago. This morning, Valentine's Day, I opened my mailbox at my new address, and there was one card, handmade, construction paper and glitter. Inside, in that same shaky teenage handwriting, "I'll wait as long as it takes. Happy Valentine's Day, Claire. You're worth the wait. Love, your Danny." He found me again. He always finds me. And I have no idea where he is right now. It is said that home is where the heart is, that your house should be built on love and trust. My husband built our house with his own hands. Every nail, every board, every room designed specifically for me. Except one. The room I was never supposed to find. My name is Angela, and 5 years ago today, on Valentine's Day, I married a man I thought I knew. Nathan is an architect. When we got engaged, he told me he wanted to design our dream home. Something perfect, he said. Something uniquely ours. He showed me blueprints, asked what I wanted, and so I told him. Lots of natural light, an open kitchen, a reading nook by the fireplace. And he delivered it all. The house was perfect. It was remote, private, surrounded by woods. Exactly what I'd always wanted. Nathan was the perfect husband. Attentive, thoughtful. He remembered every detail about me. My favorite flowers, how I took my coffee, the exact way I liked pillows arranged on our bed. Sometimes I joke that he knew me better than I knew myself. This morning, our 5th anniversary, I wanted to surprise Nathan. So I bought him a vintage drafting table he'd been eyeing for months. Too big to hide in our bedroom, so I took it down to the basement while he was at the gym. While getting things set up, I had to move some papers and whatnot around, and that's when I came across the final blueprints for our house. I'd never seen these before and wanted to appreciate his hard work. But that's when I realized something I'd never noticed before. I'm not an architect, but I know basic geometry. I measured the basement, and then, I don't know what, but something just came over me and I had to go outside and measure the house foundation. The basement was 12 feet shorter than it should be. There was a hidden space, a room I'd never seen. It never occurred to me until now that there was missing space in that basement. I guess everything else was just so perfect that I wasn't really looking for flaws. And so I searched every inch of that basement, and then behind a bookcase I found a seam. A door. Perfectly disguised. It was like something out of a movie. It was locked though. Required a key. I should have waited for Nathan, asked him about it, but something in my gut told me not to. He's not supposed to be home for hours yet. And so I looked for a way to open the door. I ended up finding a crowbar by Nathan's workbench and tried my hardest to pry the door open. It was difficult, but I eventually got it. The room was a bedroom, perfectly preserved. Vintage furniture, a vanity covered in makeup and perfume bottles, women's clothes hanging in the closet, and photographs, dozens of them. One photo was of Nathan in a wedding suit, standing next to a woman I'd never seen. Different hair than mine, different face, but something about her. The wedding was dated 9 years ago. Nathan told me he'd never been married before. And pinned to the wall was a newspaper clipping. It was yellow, and aged. It read, "Local woman vanishes. Police seek answers." The woman was Victoria Hayes, Nathan's first wife. She disappeared 7 years ago. Valentine's Day weekend. Never found. My hands were shaking now as I looked around the hidden room. The layout, the furniture placement. It was a smaller version, but almost identical to our bedroom upstairs. The vanity was in the same spot as mine. The bed faced the same direction. Even the curtains were the same style. Nathan hadn't designed our bedroom for me. He'd recreated hers. On the vanity, a Valentine's Day card, addressed to Victoria, dated 7 years ago, the year she disappeared. And inside, in Nathan's handwriting, "You'll always be my Valentine, even if you don't know it yet." What did that mean? I looked at myself in the vanity mirror. Really looked. My hair. I dyed it auburn 2 years ago because Nathan said it would look beautiful on me. Victoria's hair in the photos was auburn. My style. Nathan always complimented certain outfits, certain colors. I'd gradually shifted from my wardrobe to things he liked. Things Victoria wore in the photographs. He'd been molding me, slowly, subtly, turning me into her. That's when I saw another blueprint pinned to the wall. It was of our house, but the date written on it gave me the chills. It was dated 10 years ago, before Nathan and I even met. While he was still married to Victoria. He'd been planning this house while she was still alive. But how could he have known? Was this house perfect because I actually deemed it so? Or have I been slowly manipulated into these choices? A lot of decisions started out as suggestions from him that I'd fallen in love with because, well, I'd fallen in love with him. And there, marked in red ink, 2 hidden rooms. I was standing in one, but I hadn't found the other. At least, not yet. And so I tore through the basement. The other side, behind the furnace, that's where I found it. Another seam. Another hidden door. This one wasn't locked, though. This second room was smaller. Concrete floor, concrete walls, no windows. A drain in the center of the floor, hooks in the ceiling, and fresh scratches on the walls. Recent, like someone had been clawing at them. On a shelf tucked away in the dark at the back had multiple folders on it, each labeled with a woman's name. Some were for Victoria and others had my name on them. They were for me. Inside the folders I found marriage certificates, photos, detailed notes. I was still shocked Nathan had been married before. His marriage to Victoria lasted exactly 5 years. She disappeared shortly after their 5th anniversary. On Valentine's Day weekend, she was never found. How did I never hear about this before? My folder was thicker than Victoria's. It started 8 years ago, before we'd met. Photos of me at my old job, at the grocery store, at the gym. He'd been watching me for 3 years before he accidentally bumped into me at the coffee shop. Our meeting wasn't chance. He chose me. He planned everything. At the bottom of my folder, the last page made my heart stop. It was a timeline, 5 years, leading up to today, February 14th, our anniversary. Beside it, read one word in red ink: ready. Underneath that was a deed to a property 200 miles away. It looks like it was purchased 6 months ago, and with it, a blueprint for a new house with another hidden room. And it was then I heard the garage door open upstairs. Nathan was home. I heard his footsteps walking through the house, calling my name. Angela? Sweetheart? Where are you? He was looking for me, and I was standing in the room he built for me to disappear in. Some people say they're unlucky in love, that they can't catch a break, that timing is just never right. But what if it's not luck? What if something or someone is actively stopping you? My name is Marcus, and for 3 years, every date I've tried to go on near Valentine's Day has ended in disaster. Every single one. Until I discovered why. The first time, I thought it was a coincidence. It was February of 2023. Blind date with someone from a dating app. We went to a nice restaurant downtown. She got violently ill halfway through dinner. Food poisoning, ambulance, hospital. It was the whole thing. The weird part? I ordered the same dish. I was just fine. Then on Valentine's Day 2023, different woman, coffee date. She got a text right as we sat down. Her face went white. She said it was a family emergency and left. I texted her later to make sure everything was okay, but never heard from her again. Then a month later in March, it was the third date attempt with this one. She never showed up. Later I found out her car had 2 flat tires in her driveway. Both were slashed. By December of that year, I had tried 8 times. 8 dates. 8 absolute disasters. It was food poisoning, family emergencies, car trouble, sudden work crises. One woman's apartment had a gas leak the morning of our date. Another got called for jury duty that started the next day. I certainly can't say that there's a link here, but these odds were just impossible. This pattern had continued until January of this year, when I matched with someone new. Heather. We texted for 2 weeks. She seemed great. We planned to meet on February 10th. The day before our date, I got a message on the app. Not from Heather, though. From someone named Rachel. It said, "You need to stop trying to date. She's dangerous. I'm trying to protect you." I thought it was a scam, so I just ignored it. Heather and I met at the coffee shop. Neutral ground. Public place. But she seemed nervous. Like, really nervous. Kept looking at her phone. 20 minutes in, she asked, "Have you ever been contacted by someone named Rachel? About me?" I felt stiff and cold in that moment, and I asked her, "What?" Heather showed me her phone. Messages from an unknown number. It said, "Marcus isn't who he says he is. He's dangerous. Every woman he dates ends up hurt. I'm his ex. I'm trying to protect you. Please don't meet him." The messages had started 3 days ago. Dozens of them. "I got the same message," I said. "But they said you were the one who was dangerous." So we compared phones. The messages were nearly identical, just reversed. Each of us was being warned about the other. Heather pulled up more messages. "She sent me photos of you at your apartment, at the gym, at work. It seems she's been following you." I felt sick. Did she send photos of you? She asked. Yeah, at my house, getting my mail, and in my car. Someone had been watching the both of us. I opened my dating app history, scrolled back through the past 3 years. Every woman I'd matched with near Valentine's Day. I sent them all a message. Did someone named Rachel contact you about me? Within an hour, I had 5 responses. Every single one was yes. Heather and I started investigating. We searched for this Rachel. I remembered that my ex-girlfriend from college was Rachel, but we broke up many years ago and on good terms. Or so I thought. She lived across the country now, but I still called her. She answered immediately. Marcus? Oh my God, are you okay? I've been trying to reach you. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Someone's been using my identity, Rachel said. I got contacted by the police 2 weeks ago. A woman filed a harassment report. Said Rachel Torres had been stalking her and threatening her about dating you, but I haven't talked to you in years. She'd filed a counter report, identity theft. Someone had been impersonating her for months, maybe longer. There's something else, Rachel said, her voice shaking. I looked into it with the help of the police, and some of the information that has been found so far has led us to someone named Rachel Smith, but she died 2 years ago. Car accident. Any chance you know someone named Rachel Smith? It was then that the memory hit me like a truck. Rachel. Sweet, quiet Rachel. We dated for 6 months when we were 16. We broke up mutually when she moved away. I hadn't thought about her in over a decade. She died on Valentine's Day, Rachel, my college ex, said. And according to the article I found, she was on her way to meet someone. A date, maybe? Heather was searching on her laptop. She found the obituary. Rachel Smith, age 28. Died in a single car accident on a rural road during a snowstorm. The article mentioned she was survived by her brother, James. Heather's face went white. Marcus, look at this. She'd found a forum post from 8 months ago, a woman asking for advice about a stalker. She'd posted a blurry photo she'd captured of someone following her. The title was, My boyfriend's dead ex-brother has been sabotaging our relationship. The photo showed a man in his 30s, average height, dark hair. I'd never seen him before in my life, but Heather had. That's the man I saw sitting in a car outside the coffee shop, she whispered. Right before I got those messages from you. We found James on social media. His pages were all private, but his profile pictures showed him standing in front of a memorial for his sister. The caption read, Still protecting you, Rachel, always. My phone rang. Unknown number, but I answered. It was heavy breathing, then a voice, male. It was calm. Too calm.
You don't deserve to be happy on Valentine's Day, Marcus. Not after what you did to her.
I didn't do anything to Rachel. We were kids. We broke up normally.
You broke her heart. She never got over you. Every relationship she had after you failed. And then she died alone, trying to find someone to love her the way she loved you.
But that's not fair to say. That's not my fault, I said, my voice shaking.
Every Valentine's Day you try to be happy, while she's dead. I won't let you forget her. I won't let you move on. If she can't have love, neither can you.
The line went dead. Heather looked out the coffee shop window. A sedan was parked across the street. The driver was watching us. When we made eye contact, he smiled. We filed a police report. We showed them everything. The messages, the obituary, the forum post. They said they'd investigate, but James had no criminal record, no restraining orders. He was a ghost. criminally speaking, so it would take some time. But that was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, February 13th, I found a Valentine's card in my mailbox. No signature, just one line. She's watching you, through me. Happy Valentine's Day, Marcus. See you next year. Heather and I are still together. We're trying, but we both know what's coming. We still see these odd little attempts at sabotage, but by next February, we know he'll ramp it back up and he'll be back to trying to destroy any chance I have at love. Because, in his mind, I destroyed his sister. And he has the rest of his life to make sure I never find happiness. Rachel died 10 years ago, but her brother is keeping her alive through revenge. And I don't know if I can stop him.